Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to be discussing how to convert a decimal number into a fraction. Okay, so let's look at our first example over here, and let's say you're given the following decimal number 0.2 and you want to convert it into a fraction. And as you know, a fraction is something which has a numerator and a denominator, right? So a in this case is the numerator and b is going to be our denominator. Now the first thing that you're going to do is put the entire number that you're given over at the a side, 0.2 in this case, or just 2, okay? Because 0 does not actually have a value over here because it's on the left hand side. And you're going to do that without the decimal point over here, okay? So you're not going to be trying to put 0.2 in a in place of a. You're going to be putting 0.2 in this case, okay? So we put that over here. And now we're going to be discussing how to get the b's. Now the way you get the b is by looking at the decimal point and making it move to the right hand side, okay? Now when we try to move the decimal point over here in 0.2 over on the right hand side, we have to make it jump over the 2. We have to make it jump once. And because we're going to make it jump once, we're going to be putting 10 over here instead of the b, okay? Now one jump is going to be equal to 1 0. If we had to make the decimal point jump jump over two numbers, okay, so then we would have had to put 100 over here, okay? So we put the 10 over here, and that is the conversion. You can actually try to reconvert the fraction into a decimal number, and you can actually see that we get the same answer, 0.2. Let's look at two examples side by side over here. Now let's say you're given the following two numbers and you're trying to convert them into a fraction number, okay? So the first thing that you're going to do is put the entire number over on the a side. In this case, on let's say we start with the left hand one first. So we're going to put 03104, which just equals 3104. The reason being because the 0 on the left hand side does not have an actual value, okay? So we do the same thing on the left hand side, on the right hand side, and we get 2035, okay? Now the second thing that we're going to be doing is the b's for both the fractions, right? So how many times do you have to make the decimal point jump on the left hand side case, right? Now we have to make it jump once over the 3, then again for the 1, and again for the 0, and again on the 4 before we actually before we have nothing on the right hand side, right? So how many zeros does that have? 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see the peaks of that of the jumps, right? So you have 4 on the left hand side, and how many on the right hand side? We first of all we have to jump over the 0, right? So so that's one jump, and then again we have to jump over the 3. So that's another jump, and then finally we jump over the 5, and then there's nothing left, so there's 3 zeros. So similarly we have 3 zeros on the right hand side, okay? So we have 1000 as our b, and then on the left hand side we have 10,000, okay? So we have 10,000 because we have 4 zeros, right? We have to make the decimal point jump 4 times, right? So that is why we have 4 zeros in the bottom on the left hand side. And these numbers and these like fractions, these decimal numbers have been converted into fractions, okay? So that is all there is to conversions, and I really hope you learned something.